According to Mythos, 100% of you are subscribed. Good job.
Ooh, it's so good to be back, amigos. Did you miss me?
Hello, hello. I have returned after being sick and group assignments, but we are back and I am so hyped for what is to come, especially because today Cast Series is releasing. So before we begin this video, just want to say best of luck with everybody's pulling session. I hope that Cast Series arrives within the first 10 pull and that everything goes as swiftly as possible and that you get the best of luck. That being said, welcome to part 4 of the series where we're going to be going over the lore of every single equation that can be found within the Protean Hero. In this particular episode, we are going to be going over the lore of every equation in the Path of Destruction. And in all honesty, these have been really interesting. Especially because, like, I don't know, maybe it's just my own perspective at first, but I didn't associate the Sky Titan to be as ruthless as they ended up being, mainly because I'm just sort of here thinking of, oh, you know, like they're being protected by Aquila or things like that. I know Kefli is like the main protector, but Aquila was there, right? Aquila is one of the titans that has been siding with Okima until they close their eyes. So yeah, I didn't expect them to be so merciless, and you guys will see more like the more that we go through. And yes, spoiler alert, the Aquila is the main focus on this video because according to the equations, the Sky's miracle is very attuned with the destruction, and honestly, after reading everything, it makes a lot of sense. Fang of Dying Sun. Let me tell you about a group of headless beasts, brigands scorned even by the savage god. The once noble Bulsa royal family, now stripped of dignity, watch as their land get trampled and their kingdom fall to the domination of the Kremnoan. The surviving warriors have transformed from protectors to predators, raiding and pillaging between cities. Their survival instincts have twisted and corrupted, turning necessity into a savage passion. The weapons once blessed by Aquila now gleamed no more, degraded to mere rusting relics. In a fury of savage acts, they set fire to city-states, as if by such vile means they could somehow reclaim the lost glory of their ancestors. I can't forgive the brutal slaughter on the burning fields. I killed the despicable brute, but their companions only laughed in defiance. Maybe the true people of Bulsa are long gone, leaving only monsters in their skins to roam. Immediately, I love this equation. I think in particular because it gives us further context that even though we know Aquila as the Sky God, they're also known as the Savage God for reasons we will see further in other equations, but just the idea of Aquila being one of the most terrifying deities from the Titans is one that I genuinely adore so freaking much. Foolish child of golden blood. I hate those fools and detest the shameful tragedy of mankind turning their weapons against each other. The golden blood bestowed by the gods failed to revive the golden age, and supernatural strength is not a synonym for virtue. Greedy souls ultimately succumb to the power of bloodlines. I've witnessed armored warriors shattering city walls, robe-clad figures halting time, silent ones awakening molten lava, and the faceless ascending to the throne. The spears aimed at doom are turned against mankind themselves. Benediction, far more precious than gold, are traded for glory, wealth, and power. People slaying neighboring generals to prove their strength, and destroy thriving city-states to uphold their fame. Clashes among golden blood, wars fought over gold, and prophecies for the throne of worlds. How many conquests have commenced in your name? I'm really glad that I read this equation, because this has resolved one of the doubts that I had about the Chrysos heirs, because every single Chrysos heir has golden blood running through them, but not every single Chrysos heir will become a demigod. There are other Chrysos heirs that just possess superhuman strength and abilities that are meant to save the people of Aquila, but they are not necessarily those that will achieve great things in life. They just happen to have a lot of power behind their system. Red Moon's messenger. I inscribed those despicable villains onto the stone tablet, so that you may know why Pastrium fell overnight. The messengers of calamity divined of the thief's star upon the ground, declaring that the end is nigh. Why not live it up, embracing every forbidden delight? Revel in hedonism and plunge into games without reserve. If you have a grudge, pierce your enemy's chest right now. If you have no worries, then scatter your life savings across the streets. Gamblers wager their souls, and thieves break down doors with bold strides and snatch gold coins with glee. The crimson moon never rises, yet the honest speak lies. The revered choke the life out of their loved ones. The children who smiled warmly at others yesterday transform into minions of Zagreus overnight. You ask why I'm still alive? There's only one means to survive. Well, that was incredibly haunting. Skyblade's Legion. Let me tell you about a group of mighty warriors, the strife between blades. Amidst the war between the Millennians and ourselves, warriors who believe in Nikador align themselves with different factions, and the impartial war god grants power to the brave. Even if they do not guard themselves, the Millennians' heavy armored infantry strikes forward with great momentum, marching towards mobile fortresses. Their battle cries resonate like rolling waves across the phalanx, and their spears converge in the sky, forming a downpour of crossing blades. Their guards move like a river in battle, flexible yet unyielding, with ever-changing formations that leave even Kremnos warriors struggling to keep pace. Kremnos, an unmatched city-state, stands victorious as the king's spear pierces the other's heart. But I'll never forget the warriors who stood alongside me, sharing in the glory of our victories. You know, I really enjoy the fact that this sort of shows us more about Nikador as well, and how, as the god of war, he just supports anybody who they see fit. I just love that as the concept for the Titan. At least until, they became insane and we had to kill them. But I would have loved to actually meet Saint Nikador, although we kind of saw that through Naias. Still, I would have loved to see more of them. Coronal Phoenix. You evil birds, the plague of the skies. You steal Aquila's radiant glow and wreak havoc on all living beings, devouring wheat fields and invading city-states, unbreakable by sword and impervious to arrows. Only the boiling golden blood of the Chrysos heir can consume you. Yet, as soon as new seeds are planted, you rise again with relentless ferocity. Upon you, I cast the darkest curse. May you suffer hunger, ending up devouring one another. May your wings snap and crash you into the dirt. May your entire clan fall. leaving no feather nor trace alive. As for me, I vow to ascend as an eagle in the sky, crashing you under my golden claws. No, it doesn't end with me. My descendants shall become eagles, continuing the eternal hunt, one generation to the next. Okay, so first of all, I just want to address the fact that there is a misspelling in the lore here, because I don't think crushing continuing is an actual word, but I'm assuming that somebody messed up the writing and that was supposed to say continuing, because that is what made perfect sense in my brain, so I read it as such. Regardless, I don't know, like this, I don't really have any comments to say about this particular equation, just that one grammatical error. Kremnos Vanguards. I quell the fiery passion burning inside, gripping my spear tightly in hand. I listen intently to the bugle's clarion call, softly patting my steed beneath. My fellow Kremnos Vanguard, many yearn for this glory day and night. Yet, it is I who will spearhead this formidable legion into battle. Even if the wall ahead stands tall as a cliff, I face it without fear. For if I should fall, let my fallen body serve as a stepping stone upon which my comrades will march forward. Even as our retreat is blocked and the enemy outnumbers us, my fighting will blaze fiercely. For the king's immense bounty can only be repaid with sacrifice and triumph. Warriors, the banner of charge now flies high. I've witnessed the enemy's faces twist in pure terror, and soon their faces will bear the marks of our conquest, trampled by our victorious hoofbeats. I really love the combination of both destruction and harmony for this equation, in particular because this is how the Kremnoans see themselves. I remember that one of their main sayings, and they always repeat it throughout the story, was like, better to die in battle than to return even in glory. I feel like this perfectly exemplifies the fact that these people will do anything for combat, that they want to live the glory and feel rewarded for all the efforts that they put when they go into battle, and I love it so much. Ominous Flamespirit. Odresian is shrouded in crimson flames. No one knows the origin of these fiery spirits. At first, many dismiss them as just another of Zagreus' tricks. But amidst their confusion, a relentless black tide sweeps in. Olenus, Icaria, Handak. Wherever these fiery spirits emerge, doom follows. Some say the flames are Thanatos' breath, while others believe they are feathers of Aquila. Yet, the only thing for sure is that everyone flees from them in terror. From city gates to baths, markets, and beyond, they leave their ominous mark everywhere, causing panic, screams, and chaos. The clock is ticking towards devastation. Scholars at the Grove of Epiphany are determined to unravel the mystery, but those fiery spirits vanish into thin air, leaving a puzzle unresolved. Well, I think it's safe to say that this mystery will remain unresolved because a lot of the scholars of the Grove of Epiphany ended up dying in 3.1. So that makes me really upset because I really would love to know more about these flame spirits. I haven't seen the live stream, but I really hope that at some point in the future we do get to see more of just whatever the hell this is. If we end up learning more about Thanatos, I think that would be incredibly cool. Conflict author. I would rather call Antiparus a playwright than a general, for he turned the entire war into his own drama. The people of Talanton, united with the soldiers of Gerios, were cast as the villains. The supporting Ladonis, arriving too late for the climax, reluctantly took on the role of chorus. His legion, guided by the spear bestowed by the king, dedicated themselves to meticulously crafted 3-act plays at his command. The sound of battle became a grand symphony, etching fear and anger onto the actors' faces. Chariots collided, ranks clashed, like lions locked in a ferocious duel. All the while, he savored the spectacle, taking his first step out of the military tent. Alright, not gonna lie, I did not expect this equation to take this turn. When I read the name Conflict Author, I was imagining someone like on the sidelines, like saying, oh, like this is why the Chrysosairs suck, and then just creating false propaganda and making sure that everything would go horribly for like anybody just for the sake of being a nuisance. The fact that this individual is like very much a main character in the conflict that he creates feels so freaking hilarious, but also just like awful for a concept. Not like that it's a bad concept, but just like that this character is awful in the way that he acts. It's fascinating, and I would love to see more of this individual. Sky Priest. I am still searching for their traces. The traces of the subjects of gods who, blessed by the eye of twilight, once dwelt high in the sky. Mythical winged beasts wielding swords forged with wisdom, surpassing that of mortals sent from thunder. Warriors born of Aquila's blessing, who dedicated their all to the Titans in the divine war. Their valor matched only by the Kremnoans, blessed by Nikador. But why did they vanish like the silent black tide? Did the incarnation of the Day of Thunder not once pierce the sky? Without her heroic feats, who would dare raise the banner to slay gods? Or were they too cursed by the Titans, just as we are, punished for daring to draw swords against the gods? I am really hyped to learn more about the Sky Priest, because right now we don't really have that much knowledge about them. We know partially because of Hyacinth, but we don't really know anything meaningful, right? And I do love the fact that they mention how a lot of the people from the civilization that Aquila once had supported are gone. Like, those warriors have completely disappeared, and these priests are trying to figure out what the hell happened to Aquila, because Aquila just closed their eyes, but we don't really know if they're alive, dead, missing. I really want to know more about these legendary warriors that apparently could only be matched by Kremnoans, and we have seen what Kremnoans are capable of. So if these people are like the same or worse, that is really interesting. Sky's Miracle. This is a moment of destruction inscribed on a stone tablet. This is the miracle of Aquila, the Eye of Twilight. In ancient times, a wise king once built a vessel to traverse the sky. Arrogant politicians promised the people that they would challenge the authority of the Titans. Ridiculous jesters eulogized the usurper, declaring that the eternal sovereign would reign over the sky. They vowed to surpass Okema, ascend through the layers of clouds, tread the city of the Sky Priests underfoot, and even break the sky to rise above the blazing sun. People sang of the usurper's greatness as they hauled wood, wove hides, and forged roaring machinery to draw and support the flying steel behemoth. How magnificent! Bearing the pride and arrogance of an entire nation, it sailed in the direction of the realm of the gods. How laughable! Flesh and steel were obliterated in the thunder in the blink of an eye. So, what I am getting to see at right now is that Aquila is just Zeus. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense for Aquila, the one god that everybody reveres and is probably the highest one in the food chain, based on everything that we've heard from people in Alchema and Euphorius, because everybody is scared of Aquila and has a lot of respect for him. Yeah, it would make sense for him to be like the Zeus equivalent that just yeets thunder at people that dare sully his name. I really want to know more about Aquila, and I think this would be one of the titans. I mean, it's definitely the last titan that we will end up hearing about, but I want to know more and see what the hell's going on with them. Also, I really just love the ego of people to say, oh yeah, we're gonna challenge the gods, where, you know, that they have been providing for us, keeping us safe, that they have been so generous throughout this entire time. No, we're gonna challenge them and show them that we mortal humans can beat the titans. People are stupid. So, with all that being said, we have gone over every single equation in the path of destruction that can be found within the Protean hero. And in all honesty, this has me very excited and hyped for Hyacinth. It feels weird that I'm associating Hyacinth, the Sky Priestess, to now the destruction. I know she's Remembrance in Path, but just the idea of the Sky Priests being more attuned to destruction because of the way that Aquila is, feels interesting. Like, I look at Hyacinth and I don't imagine death. But apparently, the people that follow Aquila are very savage. So that's really cool to know. At the same time, I also feel like there's probably going to be some mentions of the story of Icarus, because we did see some of those aspects within the previous equations. I feel like in particular the last one of them saying, oh, we're going to reach for the sky and get to the gods, and we're gonna even surpass them. And they flew too close to the sun and proceeded to get struck by lightning. So I'm wondering if like we will see that through Hyacinth's story. If we do that, I'm going to adore her character. But yeah, with all that being said, it has been an absolute pleasure to be back reading these equations. I got a little bit sick and then I proceeded to have a lot of presentations due. I have finished 3 of my final presentations for the semester. Still have 2 more to go and 1 assignment that's going to be a big one. So I'm stressed, but in all honesty, everything has been going great and I feel like I have time again now that I did 3 presentations in like 2 days. So yeah, as a whole, I'm just really glad for those of you guys that have been enjoying the series. I apologize for this, making it so that the series is taking a little bit longer than it should have, but I still appreciate all of your comments, and I will be responding to all the comments that I have not replied to yet. I'm getting to them, I promise. You all have been so freaking wonderful, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone you're currently watching this video at, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.